It's 3:21 a.m. I was been awake, can't seem to go to sleep, even though I'm tired. But I've been thinking about yesterday. Spent the day just outside and needing. I needed to ground myself. I was just very irritated, frustrated. I didn't want to be inside. I didn't want any noise. But I was thinking about that just now. Well, probably for the past hour. I understand where some of my irritation was coming from because I haven't left the house in like a week. I wanted to get out. I want just nowhere in particular, but just a change of scenery. And then, yeah, I just wanted to change the scenery, but it wasn't just having having cabin fever. It was actually a unresolved or unresolved, unhealed wounds. And I know this because I had an experience last week in the spirit realm, letting me know that, I have been holding on to some emotions that I still need to release. And I'm just laying here thinking, how do I release these emotions? For most of my life, I've suppressed my emotions since I was a child. Most of the things that I've gone through or had to deal with has been obviously internally, but on my own. And even the times I've gone to others for some help or guidance, I didn't get it. So I'm laying here just thinking, like, thinking about my life and the things that I've experienced and endured, and turning points in my life that shifted me. The pain, the emotional pain, the betrayal, the grief, and all of that. And I realized that I'm just emotionally constipated. I am emotionally constipated, and I know that most humans are too. And for me, I was just reflecting on, like, all the, not all, but a lot of things that I just suppressed, especially from a young age. I didn't know how to process what I was feeling. And for me, it started, I guess I was probably 7, 8. I found my uncle um, dead on the couch. I remember it was around Christmas. It was in December. And I was just very traumatized because he was my favorite. My only, but he was my favorite blood uncle. And everything that ensued, I remember not wanting to go to the funeral. I didn't want to see him in a coffin. I didn't want to see him in that state. And I just remember no one really ever checking on me to see if I was okay. I didn't know how to process that. And I was angry because no one was listening to me, that I didn't want to go. Fine, I'll be at the funeral, but I don't want to go and see him laying there. And that was something that I didn't grieve, didn't know how to deal with that. Then I think about all the times that, you know, being ignored or dismissed. And even when it came to, you know, dating, starting to date, and how I was hurt many times early on in high school, where, you know, I'm dating a guy, and then next thing I know, he's what, dating someone else. There was no conversation, there was nothing. And then, you know, I've had not a well, yeah, dating, being hurt, or and then, you know, watching my father die. I didn't know he was dying at the time, but processing that, because that Sunday morning I woke up as a child, you know, no cares, no worries, really. But by that evening, everything had changed. Childhood was officially over. I never truly grieved my dad and everything that I saw, that I experienced him going through before he arrived at the hospital. And I think about when I was had my first serious young adult relationship, and I really cared for him, really loved him. And how someone who claims to love me almost literally took my life, choking me, dragging me, smothering me. That was extremely traumatic. And then when I get home, I didn't get, it was crickets. When I shared what I had experienced, literally it was silence. There was no advice, there was no emotions, there was nothing. Not that day or any days that followed. Just thinking about, you know, just truly trying to figure out, how do I release all of these emotions of grief, anger, even rage, all this pain that I've suppressed. Because over time, early on, it became second nature, because it's like I was always dealing with something else on top of that. Something else I had to deal with. Even the time I was dating this one guy, and I was still in my early 20s, and Everything was going cool, I thought. And then one day I get a phone call and he's telling me he's got some girl pregnant. And I'm like, ugh. I've dealt with all of this by myself, and that's just a little bit of what I've gone through, I've dealt with. And I've journaled for decades, and I've gotten some things out, and I realized that, playing here, that really I don't I don't know how to release everything that's been pent up. I am emotionally constipated, and I've had my moments, definitely, when the pressure is so intense, the pain is so intense that I have had these emotional breakdowns. But it took a lot for me to even get there. Like I couldn't hold it in. And even I think about the times that I've been ignored, even with in the medical industry, with doctors, or dismissed. I remember knowing that something was going on with me because I could feel it in my head. Whatever it was moving in the back of my head to my brain. And I go to the ER. I'm there for 5 hours. The doctor, I'm telling them everything. I had been telling my PCP about this for months. And finally, I'm like, I need to go to the ER. The doctor dismissed me, saying that I was paranoid because I was single. I lived alone. And I had a history, looking at my record, of depression. But I explained to them, well, I lost my aunt, my best friend, within a matter of months, in the midst of me recovering from one surgery, having complications from that surgery, and going back into the hospital for 7 weeks, and not being able to eat and drink anything for almost 2 months. Like, and I didn't have a chance to process any of it because I was dealing with my own health issues. But I was paranoid. It's things like that that enraged me, that angered me, that hurt me, that I was being ignored. Like, all of these things have accumulated, but I haven't truly released most of it. I'm emotionally constipated. So I'm laying here trying to figure out. I know that my spirit team has been helping me to release this in the spirit realm. But I'm also like, how can I release it here? Because I don't know how. I don't feel the times that I have had an emotional breakdown around someone or some people, one on one, and it's like, oh, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. And I'm like, I never felt like I had a safe place to truly be vulnerable, because I've been known to be the strong one. I've been there for others. and allowed them to release their emotions. But I never really had that for myself, whether it be with family, friends, romantic partners. So now I'm lying awake trying to figure this out. And as I was reflecting on all the things, not all, but a lot of the things that I've suppressed because life keeps going, it just kept it stacked on top of each other to the point where my spirit team is like, hey, you need to release some of this. And I just haven't quite figured out how. I remember years ago, I did this trial of sound therapy, which was actually helpful to release and unblock energy. And I know that could actually help. I've done the acupuncture, the Reiki, the massages, and all of that. But sound therapy really had the most profound effect on me. Because I'm like, I've done the screaming, in a pillow, in the car. But I've never truly released anything. Truly. Like haven't even truly grieved like the death of my brother. And watching him die. And feeling alone. Being left alone at night to take care of him. Even though I was still recuperating from my second surgery. It's like that year I moved twice and I had 2 surgeries. And then on top of that, dealing with my aunt, my best friend, and I couldn't even go to my best friend's funeral because I was in the hospital. I couldn't even cry because I was so dehydrated from vomiting for like 9 days straight. And being in the hospital, gosh, probably a month and a half by myself. I can count the times I had visitors. The emotional, it took a physical toll on me, but the emotional toll was unbelievable. And I still haven't released all of that. I really haven't grieved anyone that I loved that passed away. And even friendships I thought were solid were not. The time I felt, I told a friend of mine at the time, this is before my surgeries, moving and deaths, that I was like, I feel like I'm dying. I feel something is not right. I couldn't figure it out. long. And I was like, something's not right. And I said, I'm going to get, at that time, couldn't work anymore. And I was like, I'm going to go to a public health clinic and see if I can get some answers. But I needed her assistance. I needed her help. And she agreed to it at first. And then when it came time for her to keep her word, it wasn't a phone call. It was a text that she wasn't going to help me. Mind you, I'm letting her know, like, each day I had less and less energy to do anything. And she just bailed on me. And then a month later, she wants to text me and say, hey, I'm inviting you to my birthday party. I'm like, really? Not in the mood for a birthday party. I left it as that. And I thought, that really hurt because I knew that I had been there for her on many occasions. And the one time I really needed her, she wasn't there. She bailed on me. And come to find out, I went to a holistic doctor and did this testing, found out I had like mold. The place I was living in at the time had mold in it. And so I had like fungus, mold, 3, 4 different types. And it was so bad it was coming through my skin. And it would have absolutely killed me had I not went to the holistic doctor and got some medicine. And it was expensive and I couldn't keep up with it. So, and I don't think it ever really went away completely. But I'm just all these thoughts are running through my head. And I'm like, oh, I am emotionally constipated. And I need to get these toxins out, these negative emotions out. I'm just trying to figure out how. It's one of those things when you have, and I know I'm not the only one, when you have had to deal with so much most of your life, as long as you can remember, and it's been one thing after another, it kind of became second nature just to suppress it and move on and deal with the next emotional upheaval. And now, here I am with 5 decades of emotional suppression. And I'm not sure how to get it out. From time to time, I have those moments like at night when I'm just, tears will flow. But it's not that hardcore waterfall, runny nose, like that deep release. I'm just trying to figure it out. And I am asking my spirit team to help me with this. Because I feel like I need a safe place to be vulnerable, a safe place where I'm not questioned or interrogated, a place where I can just be and release. Anyway, that's just where I am right now. I'm going to try to get some sleep. Well, thanks for listening. Till next time, take care.